I want to start with a question that is simple to ask but not so simple to answer. The question is this: who are you? Not what do you do for a living? Not what company do you work for? Not what job title do you hold? Not even what are you supposed to be doing? I'm not asking about your role, your business, or the money you make. I'm asking something much deeper. Who are you at the very center of your being? Who are you when the labels are gone, when the job is taken away, when the business cards are thrown in the trash? Who are you when it's just you? Most people do not know how to answer that. Some people spend their whole lives trying to figure it out. And maybe that is why so many people feel empty, even when they are successful. They confuse what they do with who they are. But you and I both know those two things are not the same. Let me explain. Every single one of us has something to give. Inside of you, there is a gift. Inside of me, there is a gift. Inside of everyone, there is a gift that is not tied to a title or a paycheck. These gifts are not about impressing others. They are about expressing who you are and sharing it with the world. Over time, I've noticed that when it comes to work and contribution, there are three main gifts people bring. And if you understand these three, you will begin to understand yourself better. These three gifts are the gift of the artist, the gift of the manager or leader, and the gift of the entrepreneur. Let's talk first about the artist. When I say artist, I don't only mean someone who paints pictures, writes songs, or dances on a stage. That is one type of artist, yes, but in truth, an artist is anyone who loves to create. Maybe your art is cooking. Maybe your art is coding software that makes people's lives easier. Maybe your art is designing clothes that make people feel confident. Maybe your art is solving problems that no one else can see. Maybe your art is teaching in a way that lights up a child's eyes. All of these are forms of art. An artist is someone who wakes up in the morning and thinks, what can I make today? What can I bring into the world that wasn't here yesterday? Artists live for the joy of creation. They love the process, and they love the result. But most of all, they love seeing how their work touches people. Now yes, artists want money too. They want to live well, to take care of their families. But deep down, real artists will never sell out their heart just for money. Their gift is too precious. Their creation is too personal. They would rather keep doing what they love, even if it means making less, than betray what feels true to them. I've met many people like this. You ask them, would you ever sell your business? And they look at you confused and say, why would I sell it? This is my life. This is my joy. This is what I want to do until I die. That is the heart of an artist. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, there is something beautiful about it. But there is also a challenge. If you only see yourself as an artist, sometimes you limit how big you can grow. Because creation alone does not always build systems, and creation alone does not always multiply impact. The second gift is the gift of the manager or leader. This person is different from the artist. The manager is not focused only on creating the product. The manager is focused on the people and the process. Managers love to organize. They love to see the moving pieces fit together. They love to bring people into harmony. Where the artist gets joy from making the thing, the manager gets joy from building the system around the thing. Think about a restaurant. The chef may be the artist. He creates food that makes customers smile. But the manager makes sure the kitchen runs smoothly, the servers know their roles, the bills are paid, the schedules are handled, and the business doesn't fall apart. Without the manager, even the best food in the world can't keep a restaurant alive. Managers are puzzle solvers. They ask, how can we make this work better? How can we make this process smoother? They are not only thinking about today, they are building systems that last for years. That is why large companies like McDonald's or General Electric survive for so long. They are built on systems. You can swap out the people, but the system keeps the business alive. And the people who love to build and run those systems, those are the managers and leaders. Some people find that boring. But managers find it exciting. They are happiest when they are guiding people, fixing processes, and keeping everything stable. And then, there is the third gift, the entrepreneur. Now, this word is used a lot today. Everyone wants to be called an entrepreneur. But not everyone really is one. True entrepreneurs are people who love risk. They don't just create a product. They don't just manage a team. They create whole businesses. And once they build one, they may sell it, buy another one, or start something completely new. Entrepreneurs live for the game of business. They are excited by the thrill of the ride. The ups and downs don't scare them. The near bankruptcies don't stop them. In fact, those things excite them. I once knew a man who went almost bankrupt 6 times. One time, he actually lost it all. Imagine that. Most people would have quit. But he didn't. He stood up again, built again, risked again. That is what a true entrepreneur does. Entrepreneurs spell fun with the word WIN. Winning is their joy. Selling a business, starting another, trying something risky, this is their world. They are not attached to the product itself. They are attached to the thrill of creating, selling, and building again. That is why they are different from artists and managers. Where artists love the work, and managers love the process, entrepreneurs love the game. Now here's the truth, you may have a little bit of all 3 gifts. You may be creative like an artist. You may be organized like a manager. You may even take risks like an entrepreneur. But usually, one of these is stronger. One of these feels more like you than the others. And when life gets stressful, you will always go back to your true nature. The artist will go back to creating. The manager will go back to organizing. The entrepreneur will go back to selling and risking. That's why it's so important to know who you really are. Because if you know your nature, you can design your life around it. You can live with less stress, more joy, and more fulfillment. But if you pretend to be something you are not, you will always feel empty, no matter how much money you make. I have seen so many people chase a path that isn't theirs. They say, I want to be an entrepreneur like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. And maybe that sounds exciting. But maybe, deep down, they are not entrepreneurs. Maybe they are artists or managers. And that is okay. You can still live an incredible life. You can still make a huge impact. You don't have to copy someone else's path. You just have to walk your own. So let me ask you again, if money didn't matter, if fame didn't matter, what would you want to do? Would you want to spend your days creating? Would you want to lead and organize people? Or would you want to risk and build businesses again and again? That answer will show you who you are at the core. And when you honor that, you will feel fulfilled. Because in the end, money won't fill you. Status won't fill you. What will fill you is living true to your nature. That is when you feel alive. That is when you can look at your life and say, this is who I really am. One thing I've noticed is this, when life gets heavy, when the pressure builds, we always return to who we really are. Stress has a way of stripping away the surface and showing our true nature. The artist, under stress, escapes into creation. If they are sad, they paint. If they are angry, they write music. If they are confused, they design or build something. Their art is their safe place, the place where they feel control and peace. The manager, under stress, goes straight to organization. They might start cleaning their house. They might replan their schedule. They might sit down and make lists, trying to put order into the chaos around them. Their mind feels calmer when things are in their right place. The entrepreneur, under stress, looks for opportunity. Even in pain, even in crisis, they ask, what can I do with this? How can I flip the situation? How can I win something here? They are wired to see risk as fuel. This is why knowing your nature matters. Because the world will test you. Life will bring storms. And in those storms, you will return to your default. If you know what that default is, you won't be surprised by yourself. You'll understand yourself better. I remember meeting a man who loved photography. He was not famous. He didn't make much money. But every day, he woke up early to catch the morning light, to capture the way the sun touched the earth. He worked at a small shop to pay the bills, but his heart was always in his photos. One day, I asked him, "Why don't you turn this into a business? Why don't you sell your pictures online or try to make a living from it?" He smiled and said, "Because then it would stop being mine. I don't want my art to belong to deadlines and customers. I just want it to belong to me." That's when I realized he was a pure artist. He didn't care if the world noticed. He cared that he created. And for him, that was enough. I also knew a woman who ran a small charity. She wasn't the one giving the speeches. She wasn't the one on the stage. She wasn't the one creating the new ideas. But she was the one who made sure everything actually worked. She set up the schedules. She handled the paperwork. She guided the volunteers. And without her, the whole place would have fallen apart. She once told me, "I don't need to be in the spotlight. I like knowing that people can count on me. I like knowing that things run smoothly because of me." That is the heart of a manager. They may not always be the face of the show, but they are the ones who keep the show alive. And then there was a friend of mine who could never sit still. He started one business, then sold it. He started another, then moved on again. To me, it looked exhausting. But to him, it looked exciting. One time he told me, "If I keep something too long, I get bored. I love the chase. I love the risk. I love not knowing if it will work. That's what keeps me alive." That's when I understood. He wasn't restless because he was lost. He was restless because he was a true entrepreneur. His joy wasn't in keeping things safe. His joy was in risking, building, selling, and starting again. The problem is, society often pressures us to be something we're not. We are told that being an entrepreneur is the highest level. We are told that if we're not building the next Apple or Google, we're not doing enough. But that's not true. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. And that doesn't make you less. Some of the most fulfilled people I've ever met were artists who never chased money but lived full of joy. Some of the strongest, most reliable people I've ever met were managers who built teams that lasted for decades. And yes, some of the most daring people I've ever met were entrepreneurs who risked everything again and again. None of these is better. The question is not, which one is greater? The real question is, which one is yours? So here's my reflection for you. Don't ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? Ask yourself, what is my nature? Because when you live by your nature, you will achieve more than you imagined, not because you forced it, but because you flowed with who you already are. It's like swimming. If you swim against the current, you get tired, even if you're strong. But if you swim with the current, you go far with less effort. Your nature is your current. Flow with it. So let me close with this question. Who are you at the core? Are you the artist who creates beauty from nothing? Are you the manager who brings order to the world? Are you the entrepreneur who takes risks and builds new empires? Or are you a mix of them all, with one stronger than the others? When you find the answer, don't fight it. Don't compare yourself. Don't wish to be something you're not. Live in it. Grow in it. Surround yourself with people who fill the parts you don't. Because in the end, fulfillment comes not from being everything. It comes from being yourself.
Please like and subscribe for more videos.